And now, another episode of MMA Gossip with your boys.
Boom. We are live. MMA Gossip, episode number 61. We are cranking them out. I feel like every time I look at the calendar, it's Wednesday again. But we are back in your life. A lot to talk about. The world of MMA never stops, as we say all the time. So we're coming off a big UFC 261 wild card, 20,000 fans in the arena, maskless. We love it. Shout out to Ron DeSantis and what they're doing in Florida, Jacksonville more specifically. Thank you for that. Epic fucking fight card. Best I can remember in a long time. And the crowd, it just everything. Like the fight card itself was unreal. 3 title fights, 2 champs defended, 1 new champ. Fucking Weidman's leg snapping in half mid-card is fucking insane. A lot of knockouts. First punch of the entire card. Someone gets dropped. Just madness all around. Love to fucking see it. And then, like we said, the world of MMA never stops. People are still talking about Jake Paul. I don't watch any of his interviews straight on principle. Haven't seen one. I get them recommended to me on YouTube every single day. Have not clicked one yet, although I do read them on Twitter, so who's really winning there. Francis Ngannou returns to Cameroon to a fucking parade, which I think is so sweet, so awesome. The funniest part about the whole thing is everyone in the media is promoting, like, this is a real hero. This is what he gets welcomed like in his country. There's literally thousands and thousands of people, like, swarming each other. No mass, obviously. I don't give a fuck. I know you guys don't give a fuck. But the same people crying that 15,000 people are in an arena, you know, I'll leave it at that. Yeah, with that, on that note, cancel Luke Thomas and Ben Fowlkes. They want to promote cancel culture. We're canceling them. Derek Lewis says he is going to KO Francis Ngannou in the first exchange in their heavyweight title fight rematch, if and when it gets booked. Yair and Zabit going back and forth for about the 27,000th time. This fight is 3 years in the making. Hope to see it soon. What else? Mike Tyson says he's fighting Lennox Lewis. ONE FC is back again. It feels like they've been rolling through cards and it's been flying way under the radar. Unfortunately, TJ Dillashaw off his May 8th return against Corey Sandhagen. I cried real tears last night because you guys know TJ Dillashaw is one of my favorites. Been a rough week for me, bro. TJ Dillashaw, fucking Chris Weidman. It's not a good week to be Chris Viverito. Let's put it that way. We'll be recapping UFC 261 and going over Jiri and Dom Reyes this upcoming weekend. Bellator is still another week or so out. That's it. I don't know what else to do. Besides, if you're still listening to me rant, like, comment, subscribe. Let us know how you're feeling this video. Let us know what you want to see more. Ask us questions. Get active in those comments. Hit the like button right now. It takes 1 second. And subscribe. It really helps the boys out. Follow us on Twitter. Mikey has been going off on Twitter, getting us follows, following people back, interacting like crazy, doing a great job. I really appreciate it. I know Matt does too. So at MMA X Gossip, if you want to find us there, then let's get it.
Chris, you missed the biggest news of all.
Oh, God.
Rose single-handedly ended communism with 1 kick.
Oh, boy.
1 kick.
Oh, boy.
Dude, you kick her around the world.
Matt, what did you think about that when it landed?
It was bittersweet. It was very bittersweet. It was good to see the enemy defeated. But
The enemy who you bet on.
yeah, I bet on the enemy.
You traitor.
Dude, I never ever, you guys know me, I rarely bet full lines. The only lines I bet, my 2 bets of the whole card. And I said to you guys before the card, and then the day of the card, I made 1 more because I was with Evan. He wanted to make bets. I bet Brendan Allen's full line, cash it, friend of the podcast. Thank you, All In Allen. And I bet Rose. So I won $130 on, or I won $100 on a $130 bet on Brendan Allen and rolled that 100 on Rose's full line. I won 185.
Nice. There you go.
Let's get it, man. Got to give Rose those props, man. I mean, like everyone, like you said, Chris, it was the narrative was already out, man. Zhang is going to win. And
how she was chanting on the best as her name was being called, dude, like that gave me chills and made me immediately regret who I bet on. I was like, wow.
Joe Rogan was crying. Dude, good for him, man. He wears his emotions on his sleeve, man. That's why we love him so much. Yeah, I mean, I feel like we got to talk a little bit about Weidman. Like, do you guys think that he should come back? I hear
as soon as possible.
I hear he's walking again already. We know that he came back like 6 months after his bad break.
So here's the thing. I've been following this. I might as well be in Chris Weidman's family with how often I'm checking his updates. I follow his wife on Instagram, so she like posts more like family things, like what a mom would post online, Anyway, he's doing, it sounds crazy. He's doing fairly as well as you can be fucking doing. He's a fighter, He's 36 years old, which, seems old in the fight world, but is pretty young in reality, in life. So as soon he was in the hospital for 2 days up until yesterday, the UFC, which no one talks about, got him Dana White more specifically got him a private plane from Las Vegas. They got him a limo service, 2 limos for just his family, directly to a private plane. They walked right up the runway. They had a full EMS squad waiting for him, got him onto the plane. And when the plane touched down in South Carolina, like a mile from his home, an EMS squad was waiting there to pick him up, drove him right to his house. So like the UFC put him on, he's got a full leg boot on, obviously, but yeah, he's walking with a walker. He's up on his feet though, showering. I saw him wrap a plastic bag around it because he can't get wet, obviously. So his wife is duct taping plastic bags around his legs. He's got like the elevated shitter that like your grandma probably has, you know what I mean? And the same thing in the shower. So I mean, he's somewhat immobile, but he's been eating. He seems like he's in good spirits, posting pics of everything he's been eating and stuff. And at the end of the day, Dana White said it, and it is literally true. Weidman basically said it too. At the end of the day, it's so hard to watch. Like I watched it one time and I had to take my sweatshirt off and my pants off because I was sweating watching the replays on TV, sweating, dude. But it is just a broken bone, like it's insane. His leg was literally like this. If you haven't seen the replay, I'm going to put it in, or the picture, I'm going to put it in the thumbnail. It's fucking fully snapped. Like his leg is like this. You know what I mean? But it was somewhat of a clean break, and doctors put a rod right down it, drill it in, and the bones heal, So I don't know how or why he'd want to come back from that. He could coach wrestling and just do whatever, UFC will give him a job instantly, and he could basically retire at 36. He's got fame, he's got money. I know he's got some rental properties, so he's doing quite all right for himself. And I just want to see him retire healthy. He's got 3 young kids, CJ, Cassidy, and Colton. And like I said, I follow him very fucking closely. I'm obsessed with him, man crush. And I just want to see them do well. They're a good family and stuff. So I don't want him to come back and fight again. My heart aches for him. Like it would just be really hard to see him come back, and like he would have to go through the ringer again to get back to where he was. And I don't want to see that. Derek Lewis said if he fights again, he's not even lifting his legs in the octagon anymore. He said he's going to shuffle his feet when he fights.
He said he has an OnlyFans now for his feet.
Yeah, I saw that too.
What do you guys think about Jimmy Crute's loss of feeling in his ankle? We've seen this before. Oh, excuse me, his calf. We've seen this before with Michael Chandler at Bellator. We saw this with Henry Cejudo when he fought Mighty Mouse in the second fight. Do you think the fight should have went on, or do you think it was justified stoppage? I mean, like in the moment, I
think it was justified. It looks like something was structurally wrong with it too. Like something was either dislocated and popped back in, or something tore, because even when he was just trying to walk, his leg was just outright giving out. And as somebody that bet on Crute, I was like pissed about it. But then when I saw him like walking around, like not really walking, I was like, like you said it yourself, Mike, yesterday when we were talking about him or whatever it was 2 days ago. He is young, and that was like your first real big step up in competition, I guess, if you count Misha Serkinov. But, he's got time to come back and recover from whatever this is. Do we know if anything came out yet? Like, did he have MRIs or anything?
I didn't hear anything, but I feel like no news is good news. I feel like maybe it was just he lost the feeling in his calf because of that calf kick, and then
you see what I mean though. When he was trying to walk, his leg was like bending odd.
When he said on his Instagram story, I think as of last night, basically this morning, I don't know, he's still in quarantine and he hasn't been able to get his knee scanned. He says he's doing all right. So I guess, like you said, if it was an emergency, they would have to do something, right?
Right.
But he said he wants to get his knee scanned. He hasn't had it fully evaluated yet, so there basically is no update yet.
He's a tough son of a bitch too. He wanted to fight so bad, so props there. But you tell he's super green and he still needs like a lot of polishing. But he's 25 years old. We talked about Rose. Let's talk real quick about the domination that was Valentina. I mean, I'm gonna put my balls on the line here, and because I fucked up bad. I was like, yo, Andrade just got the muscular physique and the strength to kind of muscle her around, blah, blah, blah. Had that whole spiel last week, and I couldn't be more wrong. I mean, Valentina absolutely dominated in a way that she never ever has. It truly made her look even more unbeatable if she wasn't already looked to pretty much be unbeatable. I feel like at this point, I don't want to see her fight anybody else at 125. I just want to see super fights with her. What do you guys think? You're muted, Maddie.
I'm actually going to, because, for however long have I been saying, I mean, not just me, it's been a consensus, like, who's left besides Nunez? And after hearing Dana say, look, they're on two separate journeys, it doesn't always mean they have to collide. And he's right, man. It's not his fault that nobody's not anywhere near as good as Shevchenko. She's just that much better than everybody else. So you know what? Sit there, keep taking whoever they throw at you until somebody steps up and wants to beat you. If you don't want to fight Nunez the first night, Dana said he's not been making the fight. So she's just going to keep getting people tossed at her. And she's going to, I think, until something, you see, like, what's it, a chink in her armor or whatever, like, I don't see her losing anytime soon, man. I think she's the most complete mixed martial artist on the roster, bar none. Usman is, like, right there. Outside of that, like, she could take a fight anywhere. She went into this fight, she barely even did anything on the feet. She ragdolled the ragdoller. Like, how many times did Andrade like go for one of her patent hip tosses in literally just nothing? It was so weird to see, and got the crucifix like she always does, seems to finish the fight, man. She's uber impressive. I don't think she needs to fight Nunez. If she wants to take super fights to start getting paid, I don't blame her. But, like Dana said, I kind of like his attitude towards it. They're on two separate great runs. Just keep it that way.
Yeah, I saw a meme online. It said when Andrade went for like the first lift and Shevchenko's feet didn't lift off the floor, and it was Deontay Wilder against the ropes. He's like, you know what I mean? Like, God damn, she does that to everyone. And Shevchenko was heavy on her hips, didn't move a fucking inch, reversed, and next thing you know, she's on top. So it was like the beginning of the end. I think by the end of the first round, it was all, it was over. Literally and physically. But yeah, I don't know. I said on the last podcast, I don't want to see the third fight between them. They're just so dominant in their own divisions. Like, if Nunez won, it can only do damage to the UFC. Like, if Nunez beat the shit out of Shevchenko, it'd be like, oh, Shevchenko, it's like, I don't know, she kind of loses her steam at 125. And if somehow Shevchenko could beat Nunez is the 2 division champions. That means the 125-pound champion would basically be the champ of 135 and 45. So it's like it's a losing battle for the UFC. So, and I personally don't want to see them fight a third time anyway. Like, let Nunez keep fucking murking Juliana Pena and Durandamy and all these idiots, Holly Holm again, and Raquel Pennington. Just let her steamroll these type of people and build her star. Because when she fights, she could co-main headline pay-per-views as a girl, and Shevchenko, them two can sell their own, be their own pay-per-view. So why diminish the belts?
And last but not least, Gamebred gets baptized by Kamaru Usman. No one saw that coming. No one saw that coming. We all thought he was going to win, but not in that fashion, man. It does. I mean, I feel like we're all going to say yes to this. Usman 100% surpasses Woodley in the 170-pound GOAT, right?
Oh,
100%.
Yeah. I think, honestly, when he beat Woodley, he surpassed him. He literally just took that from him. You know what I mean? After one defense, 100%. Now his only competition is GSP. The reason GSP is still ahead is, in my biased eyes, is because of like the type of person he was, first person wearing suits to the press conference, like wanting more strict PED testing, like asking for it, like begging to be PED tested, things of that sort. He did go up to 185 and win the belt there, obviously. But if we're talking strictly welterweight legacy, Usman passed his overall streak, but GSP at this point in his career had 9 title defenses to what Usman's, I think, 4, or 9 title victories at least to Usman's 4. So still a little bit of a ways to go, but it's GSP, Usman, and then a pretty significant drop before Woodley.
I would say I'll put fucking Hughes over Woodley. Fuck it.
Oh yeah, for sure. I was just saying for that reference.
Yeah.
Matt,
thoughts?
I mean, like you said, no, I didn't expect that to happen. I expected him to win. I did toss a little sprinkle. on Masvidal because I was fucking desperate at this point. But yeah, man, we talked about it. We had a good conversation about it in our chat, and I feel like we should have kept it for the podcast because it was a pretty solid debate on like, what should happen here. And then Chris brought up a good point, like he doesn't want to, or you might have even said it, Mike, about him. He might not want to fight much longer. I don't know which one of you said it, but I know I get Colby's next for him. I mean, I don't know. What's your guys' thoughts on that fight? Like, I know it was just announced, so it's in the news this week. I just don't see it any other outcome aside maybe it happens earlier in favor of Usman. I just don't see what Colby could do differently. Unless he all of a sudden hits drastically harder, I think it's going to be a lot more of the same.
Right. So I was talking to my brother about this last night because he's the biggest Colby stan I know. And I was like, listen, it's irresponsible for you to say Colby has a better shot now than he did the first time because we've seen Usman fight 3 times since then. We've seen Colby fight once, and it was against the washed-up Woodley. As we've seen Usman been leveling up. For you to say it's like, no, Colby's going to be the one, it's like it doesn't hold any water, So I have to say Usman is definitely the right side in terms of betting, and obviously odds indicate so. And then in terms of the last few performances, I have no reason to pick Colby. I'll be rooting my ass off for Colby, but I mean, it's going to be Usman, I think.
I agree. Man, that first fight was insane. Like, right? 2 judges had to split either way going into the 5th round. So, like, it really was essentially anyone's fight in the 5th round. And Kamaru just came out like a true champion does in the 5th and put his fucking stamp on it and has literally only looked better. So, yeah, rightfully so. He's the champ. And I said on the last podcast, I had a good fucking week. I feel like, you could so easily say, I told you so, because most of the time we're all fucking wrong. But last week, I just felt that Usman coming out and winning, especially in the way he did, put some fucking respect on his name now. When he came out and got booed, I'm like, bro, this is brutal. Like, this is exactly why I was rooting for Usman. And I was actually texting our buddy Hodor, who listens to the podcast. So shout out to Hodor and the boys. I love those guys. Hodor's always showing support, so thank him for that. But he was texting me while he was at the fights, and like I know he wanted Masvidal to win, but I said to him, like, bro, I'm rooting my ass off for Usman. Like, I did not see that coming, obviously, but I definitely wanted Usman, say Usman took him into deep water, 4th, 5th round, like stopped it kind of how on the ground, ground and pound or whatever. That would have been awesome. But doing it the way he did now, Usman's stock went up at the perfect time. He's literally battling GSP for greatest welterweight ever, walking out, getting fucking booed. It makes me like sick, dude. So I wanted to see him now. Like, what fucking now? What does he have to do now? Oh, he's a boring fighter. He just put Usman's lights out. Highlight reel finish. That will be on UFC highlights forever. Yep. You know what I'm saying? That he put a fucking stamp on that. Just put the BMF motionless in the octagon.
First time ever he's been out cold like that in 50 career fights. So, that's insane.
Think about the people he's been in there with.
I know.
Cool. No one does that to Burns. No one did that to Woodley until that fight happened. I mean, obviously it happened a few times since. No one does that to Colby. No one does that to Masvidal. He's doing everything to fighters that no one else has done to those particular fighters. It's legendary shit. Anybody that's hating on him is hating just to hate.
That's what I'm saying. I was just laughing at Colby. He goes, he was motionless in the octagon.
I'm Colby. I'm like, you got a large task ahead of you, my friend.
Yeah, but he's a gamer, bro.
He is, but
he wants it so literally is essentially begging for the fight.
I know, but Usman is just. I'm gonna root for Colby. Chris, who are you gonna root for? Because you seem to like them both now.
I've been liking both of them, but I mean, I would love to see.
But you were definitely on the Colby train before you're on the Usman train.
I would love to see Colby win. Yeah, as I said.
I don't know. I mean, I'm gonna root for Colby. I just don't see it.
I mean, dude, he's like a 2.5 to 1 underdog, or Usman's a 2.5 to 1 favorite rather, and rightfully so. Like Mike literally just laid it out right there for you. We've seen him fight 3 or 4 times to Colby's 1, and has looked better and better, and already beat Colby. So
I just want to. I'm gonna ask just because like you didn't clarify the other day. You have no interest at any point in time. Say he knocks Nate out, which he's going to. I know that it's not the best matchup. You have no interest in ever really seeing Leon and Usman too. Like
not right. No. Of course I do, but not right now. Like not fighting for 2 years and then coming back and beating Nate Diaz doesn't warrant you fighting fucking.
But then who else should he? Then who? All right. Then who would you give him? Would he
Colby?
Would he like Wonder Boy?
Oh, you're saying Leon? If he beat Nate Diaz and then just give Colby the shot first, and then whoever wins has to fight Leon, 100%.
What about
I just
this,
want to see that fight really bad.
So the fight hasn't been officially announced. Correct me if I'm wrong, right?
What fight?
Colby and Usman, like way down.
No, it's not.
All right, so hear me out. What if Nate and Leon fight and Leon flatlines him, makes a statement, whatever, in any capacity, just puts on a great performance, and Dana's like, Leon, you got this. You know what I'm saying? Because Colby's been sitting out. And I know Leon was out for a while, but this will be 2 fights within like a 3-month span, plus the win streak he was on before that. I could see a scenario in which Leon gets the shot.
Yeah, that's basically what they're saying. I saw Ariel in DC saying today, Ariel said, Ariel, even though for what he is, he's always knows best. He said that that's basically what the holdup is. Like the only reason it's not official yet is like, let's just see what happens. Because imagine if Nate Diaz fucking won, they would book the title shot the very next day.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
No, dude. With how he came out looking, I know it's Bilal Muhammad. That was like his big shot. He was in a spot he really didn't really deserve to be in my opinion, but conversation for another day. And he was en route to getting his head taken off. Like that fight was going to be finished. There's no way he was going the full 5 rounds. To me, that's a win. And I know Dana probably looks at it the same way. It's the reason the fight would never get booked again because we know the outcome. And then he knocks Nate the fuck out. Hopefully that's what we see. I mean, that's what I'm rooting for. It's not because I don't want Colby to get a shot. I want him to get a shot. I keep preaching it. I just don't.
You are a Leon Edwards fan all of a sudden, dude. What the fuck happened to you? It's just funny. Like he deserves all the respect in the world, dude. It's just funny because he is the exact opposite of the fighters you like.
I know. I think I don't know why I'm so impressed by him. I don't know why. He hasn't been fighting. I don't know. I want it to happen though.
I guess we gotta say real quick, Curtis Millender's fighting Roy McDonald tomorrow night. We all think that Rory's going to tune him up, right? Millender's got 0 wrestling.
Yeah, knowing PFL, it's not going to fucking happen now. Millender's going to stuff every takedown and fucking
knock him out.
Rory, yeah.
Odds
on it. You guys have odds?
Yeah, I got it. It's like minus 500 Rory.
Jesus.
Yeah, Curtis Millender is not Roy McDonald's level. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I mean Roy McDonald. I still have like the young Rory in my head, but even whatever the fuck Rory shows up on his worst day is better than
it ain't Millender.
Yeah, exactly. But, yeah, I feel like that.
Yeah, Pettis is a loser, dude. Holy shit, he sucks.
Dude, the UFC is so good at just releasing people or not signing people at the perfect time. They release them and their stock just goes down. It's unbelievable.
You could argue that prior to his UFC release, like that might have been his last fight where like him fighting Clay Collard would be the biggest fucking joke. Like even when he was in the UFC, he was still winning fights here and there. And then like, he gets cut and I'm like, oh, this is going to be, I put like $1,000 on the fucking guy. And he just looks horrible. He literally looks horrible up until like 30 seconds left in the last round. It's crazy, but you do have a point with that, Chris. Very true.
Chris, I don't know if you know the answer to this question, but if Pettis loses the round 1 of PFL, what happens now? Like, what's the route?
They'll just give another fight.
Word, but he's out of the running for the.
Yeah, well, PFL has done some sketchy shit because if someone got injured, they'll just put Pettis in, and he's as good as new. Like they would definitely do that. If someone got hurt, got COVID, whatever the hell the reason was, they'll just insert him right back in.
Like Pettis,
dude, there's been times where a fighter loses, and then like perfect example is Alex Nicholson lost his fight, and then the dude that won, what's his name? I'll think of it in 2 seconds. Couldn't continue. His eye was too fucked up from the Nicholson fight. And they went backstage like, hey, Nicholson, I know you just lost 20 minutes ago. You want to fight again right now for the $1 million? Like, you know what I mean? And the doctors actually didn't let Nicholson do it because
I remember that.
He was pissed. He was going on Instagram Live like screaming. Like I would be too. They literally stripped him of a chance at $1 million. But they'll do shit like that 100%. Like that's totally common.
They do.
Yeah, I'm sure he's just like, do a quick line in the back. I'll be fine. Let's do this.
Now Alex Nicholson is like the poster boy of bare knuckle. So that's where he belongs, honestly. He's perfect for that. I'll watch his ass in bare knuckle any day.
Rachel Ostovich just signed BK.
What is good with all these chicks that are good looking, wanting to get their faces beat?
Dude, so how much longer till her and Paige are booked?
They're going to book them and give them an extra $1 million to fight naked.
Jello wrestling. That kid's comment was hilarious.
What did you say?
Just some kid was like, at this point, bare knuckle should just turn into Jello wrestling with all these UFC rejects.
Jello wrestling.
It was funny. But let me just touch on some of these things, guys, and then we can get to the card, Mike. Is that what you want to do?
No, go ahead. Do that. Let's do that.
All right. So Francis Ngannou going back to Cameroon. Did you guys see the video?
No, but based on what you said, that's fucking awesome. Good for him.
It was awesome. He got like it looked like a fucking Super Bowl parade, but in Cameroon, like people just jumped. Dude, it was wild. You know what I mean? It was exactly what you picture in your head. That's what it was. It was just, and he's just, first of all, he's the biggest dude there. So he's head and shoulders bigger than everyone. He's holding up the belt, riding around in cars. There's literally a parade for Francis Ngannou in Cameroon. So
that is sick.
Yeah.
That's so awesome.
Good for fucking him. It was so awesome. Next, Luke Thomas. I want Mike to talk about this. Luke Thomas and Ben Fowlkes. I love Luke Thomas personally. I watched his show all the time. He was on the MMA, not the MMA hour. What the hell was it called with when they did the panel back when he was still with MMA fighting? It wasn't MMA hours, MMA, whatever it was. And like Danny Segura, Chuck Mindenhall, Jeff Wagenheim, they'd all do it. They all sit on like a little panel, the four of them, and Ariel was the head of it. When Ariel left MMA fighting, Luke became the head of it. And I used to love watching that show. I used to watch it on the train commute to work in college, like studying. Like that's what I used to watch. And he just went down the political rabbit hole. Like he's always been like, too smart. He's smarter than everyone else, and his opinion is fact. He's always been like that. But it was like calling people donks and stuff. I always thought it was kind of funny. And now it's gotten to the point where like he's just grumpy, and like people that even like him or like I don't know. He's got that beef with Ariel. He's just a hate. Like he just seems sour now. You know what I mean? Like Showtime, and he's got his show Morning Combat, which I like, but I've been like not really paying attention to anymore, to be honest with you. But Mike, Ben Fowlkes, your favorite. I remember, in college you were obsessed with him, dude, reading his articles and stuff.
Yeah. It was MMA Junkie. I don't even know if he works for them anymore because I just
he's Athletic now.
Like you should email him, be like, "Yo, I just want to let you know, I hate the way your career turned. I used to love you."
Yeah, but then every time I think that their response could be something like, "Well, you don't agree with what I say, so you don't like me anymore," kind of thing. Which is like, I don't want it to be true, but it's like, yeah, I do disagree with what you're saying. And it's bothering me because I used to love your content. Like every Sunday he would come out with a Twitter mailbag where he would answer questions of the fans, and he was well-spoken. He always made an article every week, I think on Mondays, that was always worth reading because it was always about the previous event that past weekend. And then just like they're posting pictures of themselves getting the shot, which is like, why are you being the poster boy for a vaccination that is, very controversial right now, and in my opinion, and I know yours as well, shouldn't be forced or pressed upon anybody. It should be completely voluntary, which in other countries it isn't. So we should be praising the fact that it is pretty voluntarily in this country. I just feel like it's negative, and if you don't agree with them, then you're pushed to the wayside, or it could be various things. You're a fucking tinfoil hat, or you're fucking racist, or you're right down the fucking line. You know what it is in today's age. It just bothers me that these used to be such reputable mixed martial arts opinionists, if you will, because that's pretty much what they are at this point. But it just bothers me, and I have no real grounds to say why it bothers me, but it just fucking irritates the shit out of me. Chris, you got to have some views on this.
It irritates me because these guys used to be MMA journalists, right? And I would read all of theirs, everyone, dude. I read across the spectrum. On my train ride, hour and a half train ride, I just sat there and just scrolled and read. That was the reason we had this podcast, because all we would do is all three of us would read every, Mike Bond, didn't matter who the fuck was writing the article, Jeff Wagenheim, Mark Ramundi, Brett Okamoto, Sandu Chamakar, doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who you're affiliated with, Nolan King. I could literally name probably 25 off the top of my head, or different people's articles I would read. And now it's like, I said this on Twitter and it got a lot of traction. Now these guys are writing political articles disguised as MMA articles. Yep. You know what I'm saying? It's just totally clickbait. Like, I know that's the name of the game nowadays, but it's like, bro, I never want to fall victim to that. Like posting like the disclaimer, this, that, the other thing, like, just taking, what's that? Trent Rosensmith, Rosenstein, whatever the hell that guy's an idiot. And he, like, good for him. He embraces the hate, but like, bro, you've been, our YouTube views, help us out, boys, like this video, are going up, and we've been raking over time. That's his job, full-time job. We do this 1 day a week. That's his full-time job. And his video is just thumbs down, like all over the place. All he does is his thumbnails, Dana White, Nazi, blah, blah, blah. It's like, bro. You know what I mean? But then if you say it the other way, like, you're racist, but Trent Reisworth uses that for views, for clicks. They just politicize the shit out of it. And then Dana White will go on the Candace Owens show, and they're like, yeah, so much for taking politics out of MMA. It's like, bro, read your last article. Read the headline of your last article. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And granted, I clearly have different political views in them, but I don't give a shit. I only follow you for your MMA news. And they get pissed when they say, like, oh, this is my Twitter, I can run it how I want. Yeah, you're 100% right. But 98%, 99% of your following follows you for MMA articles, not your opinions on the COVID vaccine.
Well, maybe, all right, but maybe that's not true anymore. I mean, we don't know.
That's true.
I hate to say it, but unfortunately these days, negativity sells from a media perspective, in a social media perspective, like all encompassing. We are kind of in the minority, and their demographic is unfortunately the largest and loudest right now. So in a way, they're catering right into the hands of the people that are reading their articles. How many fucking, and I'm just going to say, because there's lack of a better word, how many right-wing MMA outlets are there, like, that are really pushed? None. Like, the most right-wing I get is Dana White on a mic. Like, and I get it. Like, I hate talking politics on this show because we're breaking our own, like, keep politics out of sports right now. But it's very easy to get all these clicks, and whether it's dislikes or not, people are still going to your page. I don't give a fuck if 1 million people dislike our videos. 1 million people clicked on it, and that's all they really care.
I'm saying.
Yeah, and another thing is this: it's like you were saying, how many right-wing media outlets there are. Listen, sports media outlets or mixed martial arts outlets, I don't want any. I want the fucking mixed martial arts news. You know what I'm saying? I want to hear what's going on. Now, if the only reason I get all puffy chest and pumped when there's like a right wing like opinion is because there's so many left wing opinions. That's the only reason I like it. But if there was no left wing opinions and then right wing opinions started rolling out, I'd be like, what the fuck is this? This ain't Mark.
Yeah, we're not crazy. We just want to keep it consistent. We shouldn't have to label somebody and praise them every time they come out against something that we believe in, like they're some martyr, because it's so frowned upon for people, again, our political views, to even open our mouths in a public setting in any way, shape, or form these days. It's complete suppression of speech, and it's fucking crazy. One person, the most insignificant person, I'm going to use this guy because he, in the grand scheme of things, who gives a fuck about him? The guy, the president or whatever, CEO of Goya, managed to make waves because he made a right-wing comment. Like, something that, like, nobody really cares about that company. They put food on one fucking shelf in one aisle. Yeah, this guy's on national TV because he's the one person that spoke up. It shouldn't be that way.
Yeah.
No, it shouldn't. And now we're getting a little political here, but I
that noise.
I want to say one thing. Because I was going. I usually don't go back and forth with people on Twitter, but this one guy was kind of bothering me. So basically, the Las Vegas Review Journal came out and said they made an article. I would say 90% of it was very unbiased and just basically saying there's a event being held in Florida, full capacity, blah blah blah. But the first sentence of that article is, At least 15,000 people are willing to risk permanent damage or death to attend a live sporting event again. That's according to the language in the disclaimer for those attending UFC 261 in Florida. If you don't think for a second that that is a biased sentence, you don't know how to read. And I was arguing with a guy. He's saying, no, the article's not biased. No, I was like, dude, it's the way it's written. You have to know how the English language works to know that there's an agenda in that first sentence. No wonder Dana White got pissed off about that article, and he has every right to. And people are bashing on him because it's about a disclaimer. Well, dude, why are you writing a fucking article about a disclaimer? That disclaimer's fucking everywhere. You take a risk wherever you fucking go.
Take a risk getting the vaccine.
Literally.
I just don't.
It's going to be everywhere, and you're not going to, yeah. Dude, it's not.
I just think it's so funny that Dana White turned this company into exactly what it is, giving millions and billions of people jobs, not billions, millions of people jobs that aren't directly employed by the UFC, and the same people are the ones that, Mike, you said in the chat, promote all this negativity. They would love if 1,000 people came out of that event with COVID. That's how fucked up in the head these people are, just so they could say, I was right, Dana was wrong. Instead of promoting positivity for the organization and in a move back into normal life, this is the narrative that's pushed. It's crazy. But nonetheless.
Makes me want to go on Twitter and just respond to every asshole.
Yeah.
Dude, that's why I gave you, honestly, Mike, you're better on Twitter than me anyway. Like, you're more interactive than I am. I just tweeted, you actually interact, and I see that people, I get the alerts when everyone messages back. And I think it's awesome that you're doing that. I'm so bad at that, and I get so mad that I'm like, oh my, I can't even, like, every time I sign on, it's just arguing. And I'm like, bro, I can't read. I just got fed up, man.
It's a lot to handle. It really is. It bothers me more that I can't control how much it bothers me. Does that make sense?
I hear you, bro. But
all right, let's roll out of this negativity.
Fuck politics. I know, Mike, you're the king of this, and you're going to transfer us over. I just thought it was a little odd. If you go on the UFC's website, it says previous UFC 261, up next, Sandhagen versus Dillashaw.
Nah, that's wrong.
That's wrong. Because then if you go into events, then it has Reyes and Prohaska in up next. That's so weird. I don't know. I just thought that was odd. And Court TJ's out, so brutal. That card just.
What do you think? What do you think they do with that? There is it going to be a replacement, or you think they'll just move something up?
They said that they're going to move Marina Rodriguez and Michelle Waterson to the main event. I'm so happy that we got your reaction live because Mike pointed at me because I messaged that to the group today. So there you go, Matt.
Great. I was pumped for that fight too.
You're telling me, bro. I still remember when TJ posted that thing on Instagram. I was sitting in traffic in Newark, like, oh my God. Just like my day was ruined before my day basically started.
Yeah. And
here we are 2 years later and still nothing. But Mike, take it away, bro.
No more topics, Chris, you want to talk about?
Well, Mike Tyson, Lennox Lewis, I guess the Evander Holyfield fight dropped through. Lennox Lewis hasn't fought since 2003. He has a KO over Mike Tyson on his record. So, honestly, I would love to see this again. I want to see Mike Tyson again, I should say. And a little, like, last time you could tell they were going kind of light, like hitting each other to the body hard, not really hard to the head. And I get it. Trust me, I get it. These guys are 55 years old. But if you're going to be selling pay-per-views, not for charity, like, I want to see you guys, like, knock each other out. Just personal preference. But I think Mike Tyson came back in good shape, and he looked pretty fucking good, dude. So if he wants to do these, like, all-star veteran, Hall of Fame matches, I fucking get it. There's a market for that. I'll watch it. I'll probably illegally stream it. But, hey, I'll be watching. I said Derek Lewis is going to knock out Francis Ngannou on the first exchange. I would definitely bet on Derek Lewis in a rematch.
I would too.
He's going to be plus money, and I would add. He said that if he comes out swinging how he did against Rosenstruik, he'll knock him out in the first exchange.
Yeah. I mean, we all said it in the last fight. It's like Miocic is a better fighter in every realm of mixed martial arts, but that fight ending power is different.
Derek Lewis is eating some hammers too.
Dude, he's going to put his fucking lights out.
Derek Lewis. Derek Lewis has a significantly better chance of knocking out Ngannou than he did of beating Ngannou, I should say, than beating Daniel Cormier.
Yeah, it's true.
So there's that. Yair and Zabit. You guys even have a take on this anymore? I'm so over it. Like, I don't even want to see them fucking fight. Of course.
When are they fighting?
They're not.
They're not. They're just saying that they want to fight again.
We had news. I was excited.
Yeah, I wish I fucking had news, dude. That the TJ's eye, unfortunately, like a cut like that, I get it. You can't fight with that, dude. One cut opens it up, that changes the fight. The doctor could stop it 2 minutes in if that one flush punch lands there. I get it. Fucking sucks.
He's ducking.
That's nonsense. But that's really it, guys. I know, if you guys want to talk about Jake Paul, I really fucking don't. But
I'm good.
Calling out Usman and stuff, it's just like whatever.
All right, we got a couple awesome matchups on this card. Not many, probably about 4 that's worth talking about. But I really want to talk about the Merab and Cody Stamann fight because it's interesting. Last fight, Merab Dvalishvili, he fought John Dodson, only managed to secure 2 takedowns out of like however many he attempted, which is definitely at least 10 or more. And now he's going up against Cody Stamann, great wrestler, great hips. You guys think he stands a chance? Plus 210 screams at me to, take a bite, but it's also one of those situations. Go ahead, Matt.
We're talking about my dog this week.
That's what I said.
Hey, I mean, I'm rooting for Stamann. I've been a Merab hater for no reason. I've been a Merab hater for a while now. So why do you think Cody takes him, Matt?
Because I was really just unimpressed against what's his name, Dodson. And I remember on that podcast, I specifically said the next time out, and I actually referenced Cody Stamann on that podcast. Actually, I might go back and clip it. That I want to see this fight, and I was going to bet on Cody. So I'm just kind of sticking to my word here. I think he's got the wrestling to keep up with him. I think Dvalishvili doesn't really pack any power with his punches. I think he punches to get the takedown. I just don't think it's going to work against Cody. And I think Cody boxes him up on the feet because he's able to keep it there. And even when Merab does land his takedowns, he has no offensive wrestling really at all. It's kind of just, short elbows, keep you there. It's more control than it is offensive more than anything. And I think that's why I'm so unimpressed by him. And Cody's definitely, unless I switched to Krzysztof Joko, which I'm sure you're going to get to that fight, kind of looking at him as a dog too. But right now I think I'm going to stick with Cody. It might be a 2-dog weekend. Who knows?
What do you think of either of their gas tanks? Both of your opinions on both of their gas
think Cody's is definitely better. Because I think Merab shoots more takedowns and is more hell-bent on getting the fight to the ground, thus gassing him more. I don't think Cody's not really looking for that.
I have an interesting take on the cardio. So I was thinking that too. I was like, Merab is kind of seen as a machine, but he does seem to slow down as the fight goes on.
That's why I'm asking.
Yeah, and with that kind of pace, like I don't care what kind of shape you in. I don't really think anybody can keep that kind of pace up for 3 rounds, let alone 5. He hasn't even got there yet. But at the same time, Stamann, he was turning it on against Yadong in the 3rd round. But at the same time, he was exhausted against Funk Master. So like I feel like it depends on the pace of the fight. So I imagine it's going to be a grappling heavy match because Merab has 0 stand up and only knows how to maul and grind and wrestle. So I think it's going to be a close fight. I still have to pick Merab, blow my brains out, but I'll be rooting for Stamann, and if my money goes down, it's going to be on Stamann.
Good. I hear you. I just wanted to see what you guys had said because I think that Cody has a better gas tank, although Merab's is super offensive, right? So he's imposing his will, and he's the one that's setting the pace. So I think if Cody can keep that pace, Merab might be in trouble later in the fight. But we've seen both of them kind of get tired in 3-round fights. So it could be interesting. I think that it's too many ifs to not bet on Stamann at that big of an underdog.
Dog or pass, right? Dog or pass?
Dog or pass.
All right, next up, we got Sean Strickland against Krzysztof Joko. I've been a low-key Joko fan. I think he's better. Like, people underrate him a little bit. I think he's got more skills than people give him credit for, but I do think that Strickland's going to knock his ass out. I think his stand-up is a little too sharp. Good counters, and we know Joko's chin sometimes just like randomly gives out. So I got to go with Strickland.
Yeah, he's got no heart.
Joko?
Yeah.
Yeah, he gives up, man. He gives up.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go with Strickland here too. I'd rather Cody. I mean, at least I've seen him have heart. More of the same.
Yeah.
What's the line on that?
It's pretty big line.
Pretty much the same as the Merab fight.
I feel that though. If I on paper, like I'm looking at it, I'm like, holy shit, Sean Strickland's gonna fuck him up. You know what I mean? Like at least I think so.
You know what fight I'm actually looking at way down in the card that actually might lock him? I don't know. I like TJ Brown over Kai Kamaka. Kai Kamaka sucks.
I do too. I think, yeah, but they both suck. Like
Yeah,
TJ Brown.
Kai Kamaka is supposed to be a striker, and he just got knocked the fuck out by Jonathan Pierce, who's fighting in the next fight against Gabriel Benitez.
Yeah. Oh, Gabriel Benitez. Yeah, I forgot he was on this card.
I forgot your mom was on this card.
Yeah, she's 10-10, bro. Dude, she's 10-10.
Oh, she is on this card. Holy shit.
Yeah.
10, dude. Jesus Christ. That's
all right. I'm not gonna bore people talking
this card.
Jonathan Pierce. But I'm pumped for this next one, Mike.
Dude, I honestly think the main card is great.
I was gonna say this card sucks, but the prelims suck.
Yeah,
and the main card is like pretty good. I like the Chikaze Swanson fight a lot.
Yeah, me too.
Man,
I even low key like who doesn't like watching Kutalaba win or lose when he goes out there, man? It's always exciting.
Yeah, he's
Dustin Jacoby.
I think he's gonna beat Jacoby. I think Jacoby's been
good. I hate when Kutalaba comes out and all of a sudden just thinks he's a wrestler.
I love that you call him Kute Lama every time. Like it's an M. I fucking love it, dude. I laugh every time. Joey Diaz over here. Dude, what did he call Rose Maganis?
Rose Magnus.
Dude, that was fucking hilarious. Who do you got? What's the Chikaze Swanson line? I tell you, I don't look at the betting lines like ever.
It's close. I think it's like plus 125. Plus 125 Cub.
Plus 125 Cub. I was just gonna say I will bet on Swanson as an underdog 1,000%, strictly because the takedown threat. I want to see. This is such a setup fight for Giga though. That's what it is. It's such.
Whoever Giga's manager is giving him the fights, bro.
Yeah, it's such a setup fight for him. I mean, honestly, I'll take Cub Swanson though. Maybe he fails that veteran test. He's due for a loss. I'm a Giga, like you said about Merab. I'm a Giga hater for no reason.
I feel that. Yeah, no reason. I feel that.
I just feel like he's getting handpicked opponents. He's coming in on beating guys on short notice, minus 400, minus 500, and going to decisions. It's like, bro, come on.
Yeah, but then
his striking is crazy impressive. I think that Cub is going to be drawn to that kind of flashy striking bout with him, and that's where I really think Giga could do some damage because he definitely has better defense than Cub. He's definitely more technical while being flashy. Cub's just flashy, but he gets hit.
He did, dude. What about you're giving up on your boy just like that, Matt?
I don't know, man. I might be locking Giga. I don't know.
That's insane, dude. I'm surprised at you, dude. I'm
definitely gonna lock Prochazka too. I don't know.
Oh hell yeah! I got a take for that main event. I got to pick Giga here, but I'm rooting for Cub.
I'm rooting my ass off for Cub. That might be a biased pick, but he might be my dog. If you take Stamen, I'll just ride with Swanson, mix it up a little bit because God only knows we all pick the same three. They're gonna lose.
Yep. All right, main event, guys. I want to go last because I got a hot take. Matt, sounds like you're picking Jiri. Why?
I think he's fucking dope, dude. I'm just a big fan of him. He came out and set me on an emotional roller coaster in his first fight against Ozdemir. He came out, basically got dropped, and literally just went balls to the wall, said, we're going to hit each other in the face till somebody falls, which from a betting perspective is never fun to look at. But he came out in the second round and just beat Volkan's breaks the fuck off, man. I think he's dangerous. I am curious to see if he comes out with that same I don't give a shit demeanor against Reyes, but I don't know. Reyes' last performance was just so uninspiring to me. I just wouldn't want to put any money on him. Who knows? Maybe he could come out with a chip on his shoulder. He definitely cracks, and Prochazka is definitely there to be hit. I guess that's why this line is so close, but right now I'm going Jiri.
I think that the bias is helping out in both ways. I think that because Dom got put out in his last fight, his stock went way down. He's been on a roller coaster. The John Jones fight sent him way up. Then the Blachowicz sent him way down. And after seeing his last fight, Jiri's stock went way up. So I think that the line is, it's right. Don't get me wrong, but I think this fight is super winnable for Dom Reyes, and I'm really high on Jiri. I remember I went on our buddy Craig's podcast, the Laying It Down podcast. They know everything sports. We are strictly MMA here. If you want to know all sports, check out the boys at Laying It Down. They got all your NFL draft needs and wants. Matt, you'd actually probably really enjoy it. Anyway, I went on their podcast, and this was at UFC 251 when he fought Ozdemir, and they asked me for 3 picks, and one of them being a dog, like a really likable dog, and I gave them Jiri as my likable dog. I think I'm looking at the card now. I gave them Jiri, I gave them Rose, and I gave them Leonardo Santos. So I went 3 for 3 on their podcast, made us look really good, and took Jiri as the dog. So this fight, no money, no bet. I'm probably not going to make a podcast pick on this, but I'm stoked for it. I just think exactly what Matt said. I think they want to promote Jiri now more, and using Dom Reyes' name and face to promote him will really help. And Dom Reyes can definitely win this fight and be right back in contention because Jiri is there to be hit. He's wild. What do you think, Mike?
Yeah, so I think Reyes has been an overachiever his entire career.
I agree with that.
I think let's go over his UFC fights. He doesn't have many. His first 2 are against no-namers. I can't even pronounce the first guy. Christensen and Jeremy Kimball. Okay.
Jeremy Kimball.
Right. And then Jared Cannonier at 205. This is pre-Crystals Jared Cannonier. Doesn't count. OSP. Okay. OSP always underperforms. He beat Volkan Ozdemir in a fight that was ridiculously close. When I was watching it live, I picked Ozdemir for that win. And then he fought Chris Weidman. Weidman should have never been at 205. It was a straight left fucking shot. Chris Weidman can't eat punches. Great. Fights John Jones. Everyone's like, oh my God. That loss hasn't really aged that well, in my personal opinion. And that was his high. And he goes out there, he's overlooking Jan. He's basically, all his interviews prior to the Jan fight was about Jones. And I'm like, where's your head at, bro? He's a strange dude. I just think Jiri has people around him that are hyping him up. He believes in himself, which is something you want. I don't think Dominic Reyes, when he lost in his last fight, I mean, hopping back on that horse is hard. Ask any fighter. So the momentum is in Jiri's side. You know he's going to go out on a shield. He hits hard as fuck. Dominic Reyes, he kind of, his output kind of, looks like shit, especially in that 4th and 5th round against Jones. I just think everything's in Jiri's favor. And if you're going to give me minus 130 on a guy that's going to fight his balls off for a win and catapult him to a title shot, I just think Reyes just been overachiever, and it's time for Jiri to put his name on the map.
I hope so, dude. That'd be sweet to see. Fresh face.
Face.
After booking Glover and fucking Blachowicz, we really, really, really need a fresh face.
Yeah. I think Jiri can be that face, man. I was just thinking that today. I hope he becomes champ one day.
What else, boys? Well, we didn't mention Diego Sanchez is out of his fight. We should have mentioned that too.
I'm actually pumped about that. I'd rather see a better fight with Cowboy, but I mean, it would also been nice to see Cowboy just get a sick win.
Yeah, I wanted Cowboy to knock his ass out. I'm kind of mad at Diego. I have a personal grudge against him for hating on Cowboy, putting him on blast for leaving Jackson Wink and then leaving Jackson Wink himself.
I have a personal vendetta against him ever since he literally said, "Do I win if I stop fighting?" And they said, "I'm done." I'm like, so fuck Diego Sanchez.
All right. On that note, I don't think we're gonna.
Oh, at that note, did you guys watch the Oscars the other night?
Oh my God! Yeah, I saw. You see all one?
Aljamain
Sterling.
I knew that conversation wasn't about to be serious.
Dude, Matt was like, "Dude, what the fuck? I didn't bet on him."
Not this year.
No, I usually bet on them too, but the Oscars suck this year. So fuck.
I didn't know it really happened. I just knew you were making an Aljamain Sterling joke.
Yeah.
Did Meryl Streep get up there and say, "Oh my God, thank God Joe Biden's president and not Donald Trump. I could finally breathe again"?
Did she say that?
I don't know. She's always getting up.
No, you're right. The Oscars get mad.
He's always rattling something crazy off. You fuck.
Oh, I should have breathing comment way too literally. But all right. Anyway, I think that's it. In the ever evolving. Now I just refresh my feed. First thing I see comes up. Yair Rodriguez talking about Max Holloway now. Yair, just take a fight, asshole. It's been a few years
just fight
now.
somebody.
Also, Matt, you definitely haven't seen it yet. You would have said something. Just wait until you see Yuri's hair.
Where can I see it?
His Instagram.
Look at it, dude. It's psychotic.
Go to his Instagram. It should be like the 4th or 5th picture.
You saw it?
Yeah.
It's insane.
It's whack. I mean, that's what makes me think that he's going to win, though. Man.
What is he trying? Who does he think he is?
He said he was inspired by like
Mortal Kombat?
No, Muay Thai or something like that.
Oh, good. He looks like Bruce Lee.
Great.
He's gonna win. He's gonna win.
Yeah, you can't have a haircut like that and get knocked out.
Yeah, it's impossible. But that's all I got for you, boys.
All right,
Yeah.
sounds good.
Episode 61 in the books. Like, comment, subscribe at MMA Gossip. Hit us up on Gmail, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, whatever the fuck else I'm missing. We're all over the place. Help the boys out. Drop a like. Spread the word. Let your mom, dad, sister, uncle, cousins, half brothers, stepmoms that you want to bang, let them all know. Episode 61. It's a wrap.
Time to go send out some controversial tweets. See you next time.